All right, let's talk about success. You know, those huge breakthroughs, the viral moments that seem to just come out of nowhere? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and find out what's really going on just beneath the surface. I mean, this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? We all love that story of someone who just explodes onto the scene. But the truth? It's usually something much different. This idea forces us to look beyond the highlight reel, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
Okay, so first up, let's tackle this powerful myth head-on, the overnight success illusion. It's time to break down what we think we see versus what's actually happening behind the scenes.
A great way to think about this is like an iceberg. What we see, the part that gets all the attention, is just the tip. That's the viral post, the promotion, the big win. But what we don't see is the massive part hidden under the water. And that's all the messy stuff, the countless drafts, the moments of doubt, the stream of rejections. That's the real foundation, built long before anyone was watching.
And this is the key takeaway, really. That whole illusion of a giant leap, it's hiding a much simpler and, frankly, more powerful truth. Real transformation isn't built in one big dramatic moment. Nope, it's built in these small, repeated steps, the little things you do over and over and over again. So if it's not some giant leap, then what is it? Well, that brings us to the alternative. The power of small moves. This is where the magic really happens. This is how you build real, lasting momentum. And the engine behind all this? It's something called the compound effect of growth. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like compound interest, but for your life. Each tiny action you take is like putting a penny in the bank. Seems like nothing at first, right? But over time, those pennies start to add up, they build on each other, and pretty soon, you've got something massive, something unstoppable. Let's make this real. You write 1 page a day. Just one. Seems so small, right? Almost pointless. But you keep doing it, and eventually, that becomes a book. Or how about this? 1 thoughtful post a week. At first, crickets. Maybe nobody cares. But you stay consistent, and over time, that builds into a personal brand. And it's not just about stuff you create. It could be just one real, meaningful conversation. That single connection can spiral out and become an entire network of opportunities. See? It all starts small. Okay, so we get the what, but why does this work so well? That's where the psychology of progress comes in, because it's not just about the results you can see on the outside, it's about what's happening inside your own head. It all comes down to this awesome little feedback loop. You take one small action, you get a small win. That little win gives you this jolt of confidence, and that confidence makes you think, hey, maybe I can try something a little bigger next time. And on it goes. That right there, that's the engine of growth. And here's the really cool part, what's actually happening in your brain. Every single time you get one of those small wins, you are literally giving your brain proof. You're telling it, see, progress is possible. I can do this. It's not some big, scary goal anymore. It's something you're actually doing right now. I love this staircase idea because it's so true. We get totally paralyzed looking all the way to the top, thinking there's no way I can get up there. But here's the secret. You don't have to. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to focus on taking that very next step. Now, look, if this was all super easy, everybody would be doing it, right? And that brings us to the biggest hurdle, what I call the patience problem. This is the part that trips almost everyone up. And let's be honest, this is the hard part. For a long, long time, it's going to feel like nothing is happening. Your progress is basically invisible, not just to other people, but maybe even to you. You're putting in the work, but you're just not seeing the results yet. And that feeling, well, that's tough. So what's actually happening in that quiet phase? It's not wasted time, not at all. It's being filled with all the stuff nobody ever sees. The drafts that went nowhere, the ideas that bombed, the rejections, and the resilience you're building through all of it. That's not failure. That is the foundation. This is so important, so I really want you to hear this. Just because no one sees the work doesn't mean it's not working. You can't measure your progress by how many people are clapping for you. The real work is the quiet stuff you do every day. You just have to trust the process. All right, let's bring this all together. We've talked about the illusion, the power of small moves, and the psychology behind it. Now it's time to make it real for you. It's time for your action shot. So, here's the question for you, and I want you to really think about it. What is one small move you could make today that could set up a big shift down the line? And listen, it doesn't have to be anything dramatic. We're not talking about some huge life-altering decision. Just send that one follow-up email you've been putting off. Share that one thought you've been sitting on. Read one page. That's it. Keep it super, super small. And I'll leave you with this final thought. That small move you almost dismiss, the one that feels like it's not enough, that could be it. That could be the one that changes everything. So don't dismiss it, because that tiny little step might just be the one that sets the whole thing in motion.